Hello, welcome. I'm here to share with you a quick full body check and spinal release posture adjustment that you can throw into your day pretty much anytime, assuming you have 5 minutes or so. It's probably going to be about a 6 or 7 minute routine. I shall remind you, you are always worth it. You hear my kitty cat over there trying to get in. I'm going to pause you and be right back. All right, without further ado, I'm going to start with the standing position. I think I need to scoot you back just a little bit. Hopefully that'll help. See, Sappy Cat came in to join me. All right, I'm a little far over here, but that's okay. I'm going to take a breath or two just to ground the bottoms of my feet and my spine into the center of the earth. Kind of hang myself from the sky. Let's take a couple of bends. First of all, a nice rolling, slow bend, checking in with the neck, checking in with the upper back, rolling through the mid back, through the low back, and all the way past. A lot of people tend to bend from the waist. Where I'm going to bend from is the hip, which is a little further down. So now I'm allowing my back to just release, not really focused on straight or curved, just kind of trying to let it relax. Sometimes I like to shake it out right there. Let the hands dangle. You can go elbow to elbow or let the hands fall on the floor. Or if you need to, you can use your legs for support there. But again, point is to give a few breaths to just let the spine relax. And now I'm going to roll back up, engaging those lower abdominal muscles first, tilting the pelvis, trying to really feel the spine, stacking one vertebra on top of the next, through that mid back, through the upper back, back up through the neck, putting my head on straight, again checking in with my feet, getting a nice grounded sensation. And this time I'm going to fold again from the hips, but this time with a straight back sensation. Sometimes I like to put the hands out into a nice swan dive. You want to make sure though that you're not locking those knees. That's a temptation. Probably just saw me do that. So sometimes I jiggle them a little bit. Ideally, keep those knees. You can hurt the knee if you lock it. So it's a good idea not to lock the knees. Keep them just slightly bent as I'm coming down with a flat back as much as possible. I'm bending from the hip here. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands clasped together, pulling my elbows toward each other and adding a nice stretch behind the back with the arms, rolling the shoulder blades toward each other. You kind of play around with that sometimes for some extra release if that feels good. If not, don't do it. I'm going to allow a couple breaths and just sink into that release from the hip a little bit more. I'm going to bring the hands out and place palms out in front of me. Step the feet back a little bit into a tent position or a downward dog position, depending on what school you come from. Pressing those heels rather. Press one heel, bending the opposite knee, and then pressing the other heel, bending the opposite knee. And you can press the heel out the hip. This time I meant hip. You press the heel down and the hip out while you bend the opposite knee, and then opposite side, pressing that hip out. You can even add a little tip. When you bend that knee, you can tip the hip. Get a nice stretch through that hip socket. You can see there I'm tipping that hip. Can add any number of variations and additional stretches to that. I like to add some twisting. But for the sake of brevity, just going to press into that downward facing dog, pressing the heels down, lifting the tailbone up toward the head, keeping the head in alignment with the hands, or the elbows rather, the arms. And then I'm going to bend both knees and come on down to hands and knees. Got a little frog in the throat. So just the close and bring hands behind back again. Do a nice little counter stretch from the knees position. Just releasing through those shoulders, through the chest, through the back. Give it a little wiggle jiggle. And I'm going to scooch back just a little on my blanket mat here and put hands down in front of me under my shoulders. Now my knees are bent and under my hips, so I'm making what's commonly called a tabletop position, focusing on a straight back line sensation out the top of my head and out the tailbone, and trying to again keep my shoulders over my hands and my hips over my knees. And then I'm going to do what's often called the cat-cow, which is a nice back stretch, again in the spirit of keeping our posture well aligned. So like a cat, I'm going to arch up. I'm pushing up with my shoulders. I'm allowing the shoulder blades to come apart. I'm pulling up with the stomach muscles and really curving through that low back and mid back and upper back, tucking the tailbone in, pulling up in the pelvis and through the abdomen, really rounding through the chest, pushing with the hands, feeling through the palms, through the shoulder blades, tucking the chin in. And then I'm going to, on the exhale, release that, allowing the belly to sag, tipping the pelvis toward the back of the head, allowing the whole spine to curve the other way. Really just trying to release through that belly. Pulling a little bit on the chest from the hands, arching the back of the head toward the tailbone. And I'm going to do a couple more of those a little bit faster this time. Arching up into the cat. And then down into the cow. Let's do one more of these. Obviously, this is an exercise that's good to do daily. As many of these as you like. 3 might be a good minimum. From here, I'm going to tuck in my toes, tuck under my toes, lift the knees, push back up into that tent or downward facing dog position. This time I'm a little bit wider. Go ahead and stretch into that. I'm actually going to add just a real quick lunge, even though I wasn't planning on that. Here you could add a little twist if you wanted. Again, I'm going to try to keep it quick, so I'm just going to put that back, push back, add a lunge on the other side. Again, a nice quick twist. Bringing palms back down, bringing that front leg back. And I'm going to walk those feet forward, back into a forward fold. Hang here for a minute, rather a few breaths, a few seconds, a breath or two. And then I'm going to roll on up. Again, feeling the spine. Coming back to a nice straight standing position. I'm going to go into a straddle so maybe I can see you. Stay nice and grounded while I remind you that you are worthy of your own attention, your own care, your own love. A little attention every day goes a long way. I hope you will give yourself a little loving attention, give your body a little loving attention every day. And I will be posting regular videos to help guide you through that and just sharing my own experiences as I take myself through that. So I hope you will join me. Safi Cat says, hey, up close there. Don't don't forget to play every day. Ciao for now.